What's going on, guys? Sinister here, back with another Smite video, and we are doing the end of Season 3 Smite tier list. Now this, of course, the end of Season 3 is here. Season 4 PTS is out. I already covered all that. You can check my videos out for that. I think the PTS is going to be up for, I think they said about 2 weeks, because it's the biggest patch ever. Again, you can check out the video. It's like 42 notes, or 42 pages in the patch notes, and it took like 3 hours and 20 minutes for Pawn and all them to go over it. But end of Season 3. This is going to be after the World Championship, the Console Championship, all that. This is the very last patch. We're wrapping it up. Grind out ranked if you want. Get your bonuses for, your rank play, all that. This is going to be a tier list for that. This is Conquest, by the way. This is not Joust or Duel. That'll be a whole different story, because if we're in Duel, you're going to see this dude all the way up here. You're going to see her all the way up here, so Duel, Conquest, Joust, completely different things. This is for Conquest. Keep that in mind. Now, we're going to go for the ranks. Morgan is not going to be ranked because she's so new, you can't really put her anywhere. Not only that, but you didn't see her in the the World Championship because she is a new god, so you can't play her. But if I were to place her, just because if you're going to play casuals, you can't pick her in rank, but she'd honestly, from what I've seen, I put her at like A, maybe B+, just because I've yet to see anyone use her correctly. Like, she's such a hard god to play, it's going to take time. But to her full potential, I could see her being A+. Full potential, maybe S. Maybe. She has really good clear ability. She has an invis that can be used super, super strategically. And the ultimate is insane. That ultimate is ridiculous. So my guess is when people are getting used to her, probably A+, maybe S, just because of that ult and good clear. She has everything you really need. She doesn't have a true escape, but she can go invis that can set up other things. Yeah, so that's Morgan. We're going to go by the ranks. S+ is going to be your top picks, top bans. You're like never going to be able to play them, or should not be able to play them. They should be top picks, top bans. There's only going to be 2, and we'll just go over them in a second. S is going to be your first picks outside of the top picks, top bans. So once you finally get to pick, these are the gods that you're going to be going for. Obviously, Janus and Nike if they're available, but odds are they won't be. So these are going to be the gods you're going to want to try to go for. A+ is going to be gods that are still really good, still completely viable in most, if not all, team comps. And if you are, you specialize in one of these guys, you can go ahead and pick them first. Let's say you're a really good Vamana player, you can go ahead and pick Vamana over, let's say, a tier. Pick Vamana over tier. Or if you're a good Scylla player, pick Scylla over, there's not even any mid laners up here, Ra. It just depends on what you like. So A+ is completely can be first picks. Just not overall going to be as strong as these. A tier are going to be the gods that are, for the most part, pretty much balanced. You can still pick them. They might need a little help in other, team comps. They might need to build around them more, but not necessarily. And again, if you're really good at one of these gods, like I am with Awilix, I would pick Awilix over most junglers anyway. So to me, Awilix is up further, but and overall she's not. Or if they specialize in something specific like Bastet and split pushing, stuff like that. B+ are gods that you're going to see very rarely. These are gods that need a lot of team comp around them to make them work. Or you just need to, it has to be special scenarios like chain CC and stuff like that to really make these gods work. B are gods that you're not gonna really see. These are gods that literally need an entire 4 other players around them to make them work, build with them, and work with them, just because of, mainly you're going to see a lack of mobility. Mobility is key, especially for ranked. C tier, just don't play them. You're not going to see them played. It's as simple as that. It just can't work in ranked, especially. We're going to start at the top, work our way down. S+, Janus and Nike. Ban them. And if they're not banned, pick them. Janus is the best mage in the game, I think. He has not the best early clear, because it's a really unique ability with Unstable Vortex, but still good. And his combo potential is insane. It's literally one shot. If you get a portal into an Unstable Vortex, they're dead 90% of the time. and his map control with his ult being up like every minute being able to secure objectives with it. If they're on Fire Giant, your whole team can go there. If your solo laner needs to escape, you can get him out. If you need to gank dual lane, you and the jungler can go gank. His map control is insane. He's got decent clear. He's got so much control and mobility. He's amazing. Just go watch Yaman on Janus. It's disgusting, and it shouldn't be legal. Nike, I think, is probably the best god in the game right now. Her team fight potential is through the roof. That ultimate, even though it's been nerfed, still amazing. Great lane clear. Relatively low mana usage, too, especially if you want to use your 2-1 combo. She's just... I mean, the SPO, the World Championship, you didn't see a lot of her because she was banned more than she was picked. Janus, I don't know why he was not banned more often. He was played pretty much every game, I think, but his win percentage was crazy. I think it was like 8-1 or something like that. Yeah, Nike, I think overall best god in the game, in my opinion. Moving on to S, of course, this, like I said, is the gods that you're going to want to pick first because they're just really good. Ao Kuang is a special case. It really depends. If they're picking into a lot of early game, like if they have a Thanatos and, a Rat and stuff like that, a lot of early game that they can pressure you or even invade, do not go Ao Kuang. Or if you're just not good with Ao Kuang, do not go Ao Kuang. He's a relatively hard god to play. But overall, once you get to late game, it's over with him. That execute is amazing, and it's not like Thanatos execute where you literally have to be in there to get it. With Ao Kuang, you can eat him and get out of the way and go ahead and back to your fountain, or get back in the fight if you want. And his combo with a Polyproc and Soul Reaver is literally going to just destroy someone. Late game Ao Kuang is amazing. Still one of the best strongers in this game. Pretty much throughout Season 3. They just never touched him. He's just been the same. So it's always hit or miss with him. If you get behind, good luck. But if you get ahead, have fun. Athena, still a great support. She's got the best camp clear in the game for Guardians. She's got an amazing taunt. The ultimate, that global presence. Global presence is going to be a key here. That's really important. You see with 2 of the first 4 gods, they have global presence with Janus and Athena. Really 3 if you want to count Ao Kuang's execute being able to go anywhere in that dragon form. So global presence is a big key with ranked, being able to rotate. But Athena's just a really good pick. Next one is Camazotz. Now before I'd have Camazotz down at like A, maybe A+, but after watching him in the World Championship, he's just a solid god. Mainly in the solo lane. There is a lot of solo lane Camazotz being played. Still good in the jungle, being able to mark the camps and stuff like that. He's a decent god. I was actually really shocked. I wasn't hyped when he was released, but you see a lot of Camazotz being played lately. Like I said, again, a lot of these have bumped up or down after the World Championship, and he was just a good god overall. Kronos, probably the best ADC in the game. You're going to see a trend here with the magical ADCs all being in S tier, but Kronos is just... him late game is just scary. It cannot be stopped. Magical ADCs are meta as hell right now. You're rarely going to see a physical ADC if the team can help it and can pick it out aside from Jingwei. So Kronos, and if you can combo Kronos with Khepri, you've seen that in the SPO. You've seen, or the World Championship, Energy was running that. And it's just not fair. They would run Khepri, Kronos, dual lane, and Kronos gets 3 lives. He gets his initial life, and then he can rewind and get a second life, and then he can get Khepri ulted and have a 3rd life. You just can't kill them when they're together. Erlang Shen, still a really good god. He can play the solo lane and he can jungle. He's a dual threat. The pin is really nice. The turtle form, really nice. The fatal, all that. Just a really good god. Again, like I said, can jungle and dual solo lane. Same with Camazotz. Can jungle, solo lane. You'll see that gods that can do multiple lanes very well are going to get higher up. Camazotz could probably even mid lane if you really, really wanted. Excuse me, but that's a stretch. Freya, probably the 2nd best ADC in the game. 2nd or 3rd. Again, magical ADCs. Freya's early game is relatively bad, except for her ultimate. Her ultimate hits like a Mack truck early. And that is getting nerfed for Season 4, I believe. Or was it already? I don't know. But this isn't Season 4, which is why it's still here. But just her late game, along with Kronos, just shreds. That's slow. If you get that slow active, they're just not getting away. It's almost impossible to outbox a Freya late game. Like the lifesteal is too much. Jingwei, you've seen Jingwei play damn near every game or banned, played or banned. Like she would be really close to being S plus, but I think I have her at S just because I don't think she's top ban. Like I think S plus shouldn't be a lot of gods. That's just for the gods that are just too much, and that was Giannis and Nike. I don't think Jingwei is just too much. She's absolutely amazing and deserves a first pick, when it's available. The passive is still ridiculous. That is one of the best passes in the game. Her whirlwind's good, giving her some speed with attack speed, giving her crit chance. I mean, just overall great ADC. If I'm going to jump ahead and just say Soul. Soul, again, magical ADCs is the thing. Disapparate's really good. Her ultimate is decent. Good. Oh my gosh, her lane clear is so good, especially early. And if you can hit the back archers with the god and get extra poke with a Soulstone proc, my gosh, that's insane. So if I had to rank the ADCs, I'd put Chronos at 1. I'd put Jingwei at 2, Freya 3, Soul 4, my opinion. But yeah, 3. All magical ADCs are in S tier. That's just the thing. You can blame Zatman for the Freya, Barracuda, and stuff like that. Next one on the list, we did Jingwei. Khepri. Khepri, prior to the World Championship, I would have at A+. I'd say a lot of people would say A. A lot of people have fallen off on Khepri and Con 1 being specific. I still think he's an amazing god, and that was shown in the World Championship by Energy. Energy picked him every time they could. In fact, they picked Chronos Khepri every time they could, and I mentioned before with the combination is just insane. Khepri's always been good. I don't see why he fell out of the meta. He's got great clear with his early aggression with that bubble that can also get protections. His ultimate is a game changer, especially paired with Chronos. He's got a stun. He's got a pull. I don't know why he ever fell out, but you've seen that played, and Khepri is coming back. Ra just kind of jumped out of nowhere. Before he'd be at the A, even B+ tier, and people just started playing him. Of course, he got the heal, which is really, really nice. Coming in Season 4, that heal is going to do less, but it's now going to give protections as well. So that'll be crazy to see from Ra. But of course, this is Season 3 at the end. Ra has probably the best clear in the game, honestly. The snipe is a game changer. Objective stealer is really key. He can get behind the fire giant and take it. Or the Gold Fury, he can get insta-kills. You pair him with an Athena support, taunting into his ultimate. His pass is really nice. He's almost uncatchable when he gets that movement speed. Ra's good. It's weird. I never thought, mainly because of his lack of escape. He's one of the few exceptions where a god that doesn't have an escape is just good. I don't know. Ratatasker. Again, global presence. You see a trend. You have Jingwei with her passive being able to get there quickly. Chronos being able to rewind 8 seconds, Athena being able to literally global anywhere on the map, Alquan with his execute, Ratatasker with his ult. Being able to go long distances on the map at once is key. And Ratatasker was really good in the solo lane. He was really good in the jungle. Rat is one of those gods that can just be good. Falls off later game. He's much more of an early game god, but he's still good. He's still going to be good. Rat's just good. We already covered Soul. Sylvanas at like the beginning of the year. Let me rephrase that. Sylvanas at the end of last season, so season 2, was like S+. Like it was Sylvanas. Jeff Henlon Sylvanas was scary. And then kind of mid-season he fell, and you would see him at B+. And then he worked his way back up, and now he's at S. Sylvanas was picked or banned pretty much every game. I think the top 2 either picked or banned were Sylvanas and Jingwei in the World Championship. Sylvanas and Jingwei. Sylvanas, he's just good. His lack of mobility is what hurts him, but he does have that heal. If you can hit the pulls, that is a literal game changer. The mana regen, the stun with it. The ultimate is a really nice initiator that can secure kills if they can't get them. Just a good god. Lack of mobility, the only thing that sets him back, really. And he is a healer, So sometimes you are less defensive and more like the true support. Same thing with like Terra, where if you want to build, you can do a build Rod of Ass Claps. So you're not going to have as much defense or health, but you'll get that extra movement speed from that. So that's a really good item on him. Who was it? Panda-like in the World Championship, man. He made Sylvanas look so bad. That was some of the worst support play I've ever seen. Panda-like on Sylvanas. And he kept picking it and picking it and picking it. And it just wasn't working. And Energy said, go ahead and pick that every time. Because their Capturing Chronos was just outworking their Sylvanas Jingwei. Another S, Terra. Terra was, for a short time, probably one of the best gods in the game. I still think is, even though they've tried to nerf her a little bit. You can now shoot the monolith down, of course. Her, something else. I think I don't know if it's Season 4 or is this patch, but her ults, I think the cooldown is just 110 seconds at all ranks now, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, Terra's still amazing. She's got a heal, of course. It can also root and do damage. She has amazing lane clear. I said Athena has the best camp clear in the game for Guardians. I think Terra has the best lane clear for Guardians. It clears really fast by yourself at a low rank. That's not supposed to happen as a Guardian, but it happens with her. She's got a stun, 2 stuns, a root and a stun. The ultimate is insane, giving that movement speed, free mana, just a really good ultimate. Her team fight potential is really, really amazing. Here is the shocker of the tier list, Thanatos. Out of nowhere, man. Before, I'd have him down B+A, and he's literally shot up in like the last month to S. And you can put that to the Smite World Championship. Now, I know you're saying, oh, well, this is pros. They're pros fighting for $100,000. How can you base it off that? That's true, but if a professional player can play a god and do really well with them, that means that god is good at some point. I mean, we're going to go Variety on Thanatos, was disgusting. I mean, Variety won, in my opinion, the MVP of that whole the finals, even though he was on a losing team. He carried that team. You put like Shibalanke or Zongquei or Chang'e or Hell on Variety, it's not going to do that just because those aren't, generally really good gods for that. He could do it with Thanatos. You even seen Captain Twig when he wasn't whiffing executes. Captain Twig getting a lot of multi-kills. Thanatos is just good. He counters Thor so much with the healing and being able to cancel out, his stuns and silence them. Hard counter to Thor. He has global presence with his ultimate, which is his only getaway. That's his only downfall. He has an execute, which is always amazing. Counters Khepri very, very nicely. His early game, probably one of the best early games in Smite. His Death Scythe hits so hard with a Bluestone proc will take half your health. He's got a silence. That 2 with the penetration, just good. In his late game, what was bad about Thanatos was his late game just wasn't there, but what you're seeing is a tanky Thanatos to where you'll still chunk him for the Death Scythe, and then you just build for late game for executes. It only takes 40%. They get below 40%, you get a Scylla Crush on them, and you're ready to execute. You just go in there and pick one off. And then you can get out of there because you get your health back. Or if you have a Khepri on your team, get revived if you get in there. Just Thanatos shot up out of nowhere. He's good. He has been one of my favorite gods for a while, so I'm kind of happy he's getting some recognition. Tyr's just good. Tyr's always been good. Tyr always probably will be good. They changed him recently to where you can stance switch at level 1. That just made him even better for Conquest. Before, I'd probably put him at A+. That change probably put him to A. A good tier is a scary tier. I always said that a good tier is probably the scariest god in the game because they can just demoralize you. Same thing with Ullr. It's just frightening. So yeah, tier is S. There's really nothing to say about him. Going down to A+, I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit now. These are the gods that, again, good. They're really good. You can pick them. Just, you're not going to see them the first of all times. Amaterasu, I was debating on putting her at S because she's just always been fairly good, but her early game being as struggling as it is, I put her down at A+. When if you're facing like a tier or a Nike, if you're facing a Nike, you're just going to get out-pushed so early and it's going to set you a little behind, or like a Bologna, but she's still really good. A+. On her, not really to say. Good clear, ultimate's nice. Pair him with an Amir on a wall or a Sobek, pluck back. impale him into the wall, ult him. It's just really good. He's super aggressive. On her Sobek is probably the most aggressive dual lane ever, so you got to pair him well with like that. Bacchus, amazing teamfight potential with that ultimate. Hits really hard as well. He's got a good stun. The anti-healing, good initiator. You don't even need to get blink on him. Really good god. Simple as that. Bellona, she's kind of flip-flop. She used to be super, super S+, like broken. Now she'd be a SS, honestly. And she kind of jumped down to A, and now she's moving up a little bit. Still really good. They changed her abilities a little bit to where you can upgrade her Scourge first. If you're facing like a Neath solo lane, be able to disarm them. I still think she's a good god. Ultimate's really good. It's a low cooldown, good team fight. She can get countered though. Really, the same thing with Nike. Nike can get countered by gods that can silence. So like a Thanatos or stuff like that, or a Kumba if you see that in solo lane. But she's still good. Fafnir, I was gonna be biased and put him S+. I really was, because I think Fafnir is still one of the best gods in the game. I've said this since his release. Everyone said he was awful on his release. They put him at like B+. I was like, why? And then he jumped up. You've seen a lot of play from Incon in them, and they made him famous. And then he shot up to S+, but now he's down back at S. Still good. I mean, S is not bad by any means. Or no, I had him at A+, sorry. A+ is not bad by any means, but you're just not seeing him played as much. I think he was only banned one time, or picked one time. He was either picked or banned only once throughout the entire World Championship, and the finals, and I just didn't get it. Still great. He's got good clear. He's got a disarm. He's got a heal that also gives his hunter an attack speed. His ultimate's good. He can do all of that again in his ultimate. He literally has everything. Everything you could ever want. He's like the Apollo of Guardians. Like anything you want, he has. So, I don't know. But just because you're not seeing a lot of him, I had to bump him down. Fenrir, good or amazing early game. That brutalized shreds. Adapting on Fenrir is one of the scariest things in the world. His ultimate is amazing. It sets up people like Zeus, Poseidon, Nox. Sets up any mage, really. Any bursty mage that can just chunk. Really, really good. Beads killer for sure. Geb's moved up a little bit. I never used to be high on him. He's a really, really, really defensive support, much like Khepri, but can't beat Khepri's ult. Geb has decent clear. He can help out. That knockup's nice. It's a very small one, though. His ultimate's good. It's not as good as like Sylvanas. They're very similar, but Sylvanas does bleed damage, so you can secure kills with that, whereas this just does, I think, like a base of the percentage of the health. But Geb's still good. The shield's really nice. The rollout's good. Very defensive. Very safe god to play. Guang Yu, I say more of a support than a solo laner at this point. The heal's really nice. He can be super aggressive and slowing and protections. The ultimate's really good with the stun. Guang Yu's just good. Kumba. I think I'm the only one to really put him this high. Most people would have him lower. I think Kumba's amazing. I still think he's one of the better supports in the game. The sleep, dude, his 3 is just so frustrating. He can cancel out Nike Rens. He can cancel out Bellona abilities. He can cancel out anything. He can really counter a lot of people that have a lot of setup with their abilities. Mainly warriors, like I said, with the Bellona and the Nike. The ultimate's a great setup for like Naja or Kukulkan. Just can really set up people. I think Kumba's amazing. And the passive is really nice, especially early game. If you're getting, hit under your tower, you can go ahead and die because, like, you're getting right back up. Mercury, it's kind of iffy. Really, really late game carry. Destroys. Weekend, very famous for that. He's just good. I mean, late game Mercury is like Ao Kuang. It's like you just really can't do anything. If he gets you with his 3, you're dead. Like, once he's done throwing you, he's going to punch you once, and there goes half your health. And if it crits you, there goes all your health. And then once you land on the ground, he's going to hit you with Made You Look. That's going to kill you. You're not going to live. You're not going to live from his 3 with a basic and a Made You Look. You're just going to die. You just got to accept that. Neath, I probably have her a little higher than most people would. I think Neath can... The reason she's this high is she can play any lane. Obviously ADC because she's a hunter. She's... Earlier on, a couple months ago, she was one of the better mid laners, I think, and she can play solo lane. She has the global ult that can either initiate with a stun or finish people off. She's got one of the better clears. She has the weave is really nice. She's just a good god overall. Poseidon has jumped recently. He used to be super good. Poseidon's amazing in duel, I will add. Poseidon's just good. The Kraken is insane. I forget who was doing it in the finals, but they were like 7 kills in like 10 minutes. It's just once a Poseidon is fed, it's frightening, and you can't do anything about it. Rama, one of the hardest hitting gods in the game. Is just, if you're good with basics, Rama's gonna be your god. It's just amazing. I always thought he has some really bad clear, and then I played him and realized how well those astral arrows actually clear. So he's just overall good. His damage is nice. If you're a basic attack god, that's the god for you. He's basically the better Artemis. You know, with Artemis no mobility, he has really good mobility. And his ultimate's nice to pick off people. Scylla. I mean, Scylla. You can't fall behind early with her, but Crush seeing recent early game buffs, she's Scylla, man. There's nothing to say. You get a hit with I'm a Monster. If an I'm a Monster goes correctly, that is a game changer. That can win the game for you. Secure everything. Like, that ult's just too good. You pair it again with like Athena or Fafnir, someone who can really hold him in place for you, or just give it to MLC Stealth and just let him go off. Sobek. Really good. Sets up people nicely with the pluck. Sets up a Wheelix perfectly. I mentioned before, have on her in the dual lane. Can pluck them into an impale into the wall. Super nice. He's got another knock up. He's got a heal. That ultimate is amazing with the slow. Can really initiate with team fights. So Weck's just good. Thor dropped a little bit. I used to have Thor at S. But you're just... is kind of like Fafnir. You're just not seeing a whole lot of him. You're seeing him a lot more than Fafnir, though. Thor was played a lot. And partially because you're seeing so much Thanatos, and Thanatos just counters Thor so much. Thor's still great. I honestly think he could be S. I just have him at A+, just because he isn't being played as much. Vimana, not really much to say about him. One of the more basic guys in the game, but he's so good. He has amazing clear. He has a hard-hitting ability with a Bluestone proc in his 2. He's got a good escape. He's got a good combo with his knock-up into his 3, into his 2. Big Baby is a good ult. It's a nice tower secure, good team fight. CC immune while you're in it. You just can't go wrong with Vimana. Vulcan, his passive change really helped him getting that movement speed. His ultimate is crazy. Another objective stealer. You can set up really nicely with an Athena. His combo, if you can hit his meatball and his backfire, is really good. He could probably be A just because he really has no true escape. But his backfire and his passive giving him movement speed helps him a lot. Same thing with Zeus. Zeus has literally no mobility. He's probably the least mobile god in the game. But it really doesn't matter because his ult's too good. I mean, if you can group people up with like Sylvanas ults or Geb ults or Bacchus ults or get multiple Athena taunts or Odin cage, the Zeus ult is just a game changer. You can even build him in the ADC role because attack speed Zeus. That's how I build Zeus. I build Zeus attack speed and it's amazing. But Zeus is just good. He's like Poseidon and Ra. Before, these three just weren't played just because mobility was such a big thing earlier on, but you're seeing a lot of them now. So Zeus is good. Agni is Agni. He's basically the epitome of balance in Smite since the release of Smite. He's good. A free ult every 17 seconds, decent clear. His early game a little meh, but it's whatever. Apollo. Fallen off a lot. Apollo's still good though. You can't go wrong with Apollo. You can never go wrong with Apollo because of his split pushing ability. Being able to just get tower and ult away. I was saying before how Fafnir is like the most complete support. Well, and I compared him to Apollo. Apollo has lane clear. Not the best, but he does have lane clear. He has a getaway that also knocks up. That also gives him movement speed. And he has a mesmerize. And he has a global ult. I just don't know what else you want. Still a good god, just falling off a little bit. Just not played as much, I think. I think he has the Fafnir syndrome alone. Just not seeing as much play. Golden Bow did hurt him a lot, though, being removed. Arachne. Was going to put her B+, but I moved her up just because of the changes to Heartseeker and Stonecutting Sword getting cheaper. Those are 2 Arachne items, pretty much. Her team fight presence is literally non-existent, but she's so good early game, you can count it. Like, if you can pick her, they really can't go out Kwong, just because you can't fight an Arachne early with your Ao Kuang. It's just, you can't really do it. The webs are annoying. They hit really hard early. She's got lifesteal. She's got an attack speed kit. The only thing that hurts her is no team fight and no mobility aside from her ultimate. Ares, situational, I'd say. If you have a Hou Yi or a Zeus or big area gods, Anubis, Poseidon, Ares is really good. Super aggressive, does a lot of damage. He just has no clear. Literally the worst clear in the game, which, I mean, you're a support, so it doesn't matter, but he has no mobility at all either. I think Ares with good team comps, like a Zeus mid, or even a Zeus ADC, Zeus mid, Hou Yi ADC, Ares is really good. You just gotta have people around him that can play into him. A Wheelix is solid. Build her with team comps, put her with a Sobek, or put her with a Vulcan, stuff like that, of a Mana. People who can knock up, or just be good with knockups. Or a Wheelix is probably the best counter picking god in the game. If they go Jingwei, you can go Wheelix. They go Hou Yi, you can go Wheelix. They go Camazotz, go Wheelix. She's just super good with countering jumps and stuff. And she's a good beads killer. Bastet, prior to recently, would be down at like B or B+, but go ahead and thank DJ Pernicus, because I've seen way too many games where he just dominated with Bastet. And it's just split pushing. When you play Bastet, just go for early kills with the bleed and the ultimate. As soon as you hit 5, look to gank somebody and get a kill, get fed, get all your penetration items online soon, and just split push the rest of the game. There's nothing, the enemy team has to play into your playstyle and defend. You just cannot beat a Bastet split push. Chiron, super safe pick. If you're good with Chiron, you can go ahead and pick him. He's probably my best hunter. He's got a heal, which is really nice. He's got a good escape. Lane clear isn't the best, but it's not awful. His 2 is amazing on just securing damage. Decent ultimate. Just good god. Hou Yi, another thing, good clear. Solid ult. The ult really helped him being able to slow now. The mark is good, but they nerfed it. That's why he's fallen off. Hou Yi used to be S, or Hou Yi used to be S+, but just seeing some nerfs that have moved him down, you just don't see him played as much. Hunbat's really good camp clear, good jungler, hits super hard. You can hit up to 1200 crits with him. It's crazy. Good ultimate, amazing team fighter, beads killer, solid god pick. I mean, you just can't go wrong with Hunbat's. All these gods are gods that I'm just saying you really can't go wrong with. Like, they're not super amazing, but like, if you pick them, good. I mean, they can really work with any team comp. Aside from like Bastet and Ares, where I was saying that they're more situational if we're going to split push with her or work into like group team fights with Ares, stuff like that. Isis, another one of those gods. The heal and the ultimate is really good. Amazing lane clear. Good stun. The only thing that sets her back is no mobility aside from her only lane clear. So, Izanami, not a big fan of her, but you can play her in the ADC role or the mid lane. You actually seen quite a bit of Izanami. I think during the finals, the SPL, I think Izanami was played in the mid lane more than the ADC. So she's got the best clear in the game, probably. I kept saying like Neith and stuff, but I forgot about Izanami. She can clear without using ability. Those basics are just really good for clear. She comes on later game with her 1, but it's just not the best, but not awful. You're seeing, I think the pros playing her a little bit more helped her ranking here. Kali. Kali's the worst version of Ao Kuang. The reason she's this low, I used to see Kali at like S+, is just because you need to get super late game with her to really work. And oftentimes you're not going to get that far. But the reason Ao Kuang is up there is because Ao Kuang has an execute. It's really that simple. He can get away. And Ao Kuang is a bursty god. He can go invisible and kill you before you even knew it. Whereas Kali, you're going to see her in your face. So she's just super late game carry. And that's why she's that low. But I mean, it's not bad by any means. You just have to be really good with her. Nemesis, I mean, there's nothing to say about her. It's Nemesis. Used to be super broken. Nerfed her a little bit. The slow's nice. The ultimate's insane. Good getaway. The shield's really good. She's just good. Naja hits super duper hard. You can pair her nicely with a Kukulkan or a Scylla or a Poseidon, stuff like that. So Naja is pretty good. Odin, I might move Odin down, honestly. I will just cover him now. I just think nobody plays Odin anymore. He's just kind of fallen off. I mean, you could still pair him with Zeus or Poseidon or Hoi or Anubis, stuff like that, but you just don't really see it a lot. So that's really the only reason he's down there. He's super predictable as well. I mean, you hear the shield charging up, you know everything's coming. His ultimate is really good though. But that's simple as that. Where are we on to now? Osiris. Osiris, he's kind of like Tyr, to me. Osiris is scary. A good Osiris is frightening, where they can hit their whole combo. They can slow you, they can hit you with their flail, and they can get the stun on you and just go to town. But he's not a god. I think last season he was played a lot, but he's just one of those gods that just don't get picked a lot. And in the pro league they do, but just ranked and regular, it's just I think he's a little bit harder god to play, and I think that's why. Rajin, I don't know what happened to him. I know they nerfed him a couple times, but I didn't think it was anything that bad to really see no play of him. He used to be another guy that was up here, and he's just kind of fallen. He has great clear. He has a getaway with a teleport. His ultimate's really good. Raiju's good. He's just a good pick. You just don't see him a lot, and that's why he's so slow. Ravon, similar to Osiris, being primarily an attack speed. The heal's really nice. Ravon, on his release, it was weird because Ravon sucked on his release. And then he got broken. And he's just kind of find his way to being balanced. I mean, Ravon's always a good pick. A lot of the solo laners are always good picks. Like, you just like Ravon, Osiris, Tyr, Nike, Bellona. There's really no solo laner that you just shouldn't pick. So Serket, another one of my favorite gods in the game. Her late game potential is super, super scary. The crits are nice, but the only thing with her is you have to, being an assassin, of course, you got to get in there, and if you use your dash, you have no way to get out unless you go invisible. A really good counter to Vamana, though. Serket's good. I mean, I don't really know what to say about her just because you don't see a lot of her. But I think she's super good. Sun Wukong. I'm kind of tempted to move him up a little bit. The only reason I'm not is, again, just because you don't see a whole lot of play. But Wukong has great clear. The ultimate's nice. He's getting buffed big time for the next patch. His crits will no longer be crits. It'll be a power buff on his passive, so that'll be nice. But I like Wukong. He's one of my favorite soul laners. Nike, Vamana, and Wukong are my three preferred, so I really like him. Susano kind of fell off, of course, with the nerfs to his 1 and his ultimate, but, I mean, it is Susano. Still has really good teamfight potential with that ultimate. He's got a pull, a teleport, still high mobility. You just don't see a lot of them because of the nerfs, but a good Susano can still make it work. Thoth. I don't know really where to put Thoth, so I just put him in A. He's one of the guys I just don't know about. He is relatively new, which is part of the reason. His clear is super bad early, but they did reduce mana cost to make up for that. But he does have good clearing ability, I should say. He's basically the Rama of mages. Like, he's literally identical to Ram in terms of abilities. But, I mean, he's okay. I mean, you really can't go wrong with him, but I don't know. I'm just not high on Thoth. In Conquest, that is. Ullr, super high skill cap. Highest skill cap in the game, without a doubt. For ranked duels, Ullr's just put them all the way up here. But this is Conquest. The reason he's at A is because Conquest revolves a lot around team fighting, and Ullr's more of a 1v1 type god. You know, get the stun, get your full combo, get the kill. And that's not really what Conquest is, but, I mean, Ullr's still good. I mean, you really can't go wrong with Ullr. If you are good with him, you gotta be able to hit the combo. Not having an ultimate does hurt him a little bit as well. I mean, he does stand switch, which is his whole kit, but ultimates are real big game changers with team fights, so that's another thing that hurts him a little bit. Xingqian, again, you can't go wrong. He has great team fight potential. His blink ult is super nice. He's got a root. He's got a double jump. He has, decent lane clear. He's just okay. I mean, he's Xingqian. Amir. Oh, man, this is the big one. This is Indifference. European players love Amir for some reason in the solo lane, but I think he was played 5 times in the solo lane, and he lost all 5 times. No mobility kills him. His super bursty can destroy people with a Poly Soul Reaver proc, but just no mobility. I mean, if you see an Amir and you guys are in team fight, or if you're ganking him, just kill him. Like, you can't escape. That was rounding up the A tier. Now we're down to B+. We're going to kind of zoom through these and finish off this video. Artemis, super late game. She hits like a Mack truck. I think she is statistically the hardest hitting, like, god. She just destroys, but she has no mobility whatsoever. Her only mobility is hitting her 2 and running away and getting a little bit of movement speed. You can also use her ultimate as the stun. She's basically a free kill. If the person doesn't have beads, hit your ult and just hold R2 and you got a kill with Artemis. But she has no lane clear ability. The only one is her, I think it's her 3, and that just hits the back archers. She has no lane clear. Golden Bow hurt her really bad. When Golden Bow was in, I would put her up to A, only because, is it Barracuda? I think it's Barracuda, really likes Artemis. No, Panda Cat. Panda Cat really likes Artemis. Panda Cat's really good with Artemis. He's the only one I think who can make it work. I mean, if you're a good Artemis, you're super good at hitting basics, you can go with it and play for the late game. It's just a risky thing to do. But, you know, it's Artemis. What are you going to do? Cabrakan did see a lot of play of him earlier on, but he's fallen off. Specifically in the soul lane, you saw him. I mean, his clear can be stopped, which is the thing. Good mobility with that CC. He's basically a fat Loki. I don't really have anything to say about Cabrakan. He's just not the best pick. He's more of a fun god than a god to play for winning. Shock. I mean, his early game's really good. His ultimate getting buffed is super nice. He can actually teleport in now and use his ultimate and still get the full damage. He's got a heal. Shield of Regrowth is good with him. It's just late game. Shock kind of falls off. He has better teamfight potential than he used to. You're just not going to see a lot of him. It's just, he's not a game changer like the other ones are, like the Nikes or the Erlings and stuff like that. Cupid recently saw some changes to his whole entire kit, and I thought that was going to help him out a lot. I thought Cupid was going to be really good, but it just didn't work for him. The Heart Bomb is nice, but now people being able to see where the hitbox is helps them. His passive, or not his passive, but his 3, I think it's his 3, that's his escape. Now having a passive attack speed is really good, but you just don't see him. The Cupid change didn't work as well as I thought it was going to, and he's just not a god you really want to pick. Hades, I think come Season 4, you're going to see Hades slowly creep up. With the changes they're making, I think Hades can make his return. His protection's getting increased and stuff like that, and I just think you're going to see Hades slowly creeping. But as of right now, it's Hades. He's just not a god to pick. I don't know. His team fight's pretty decent with his ultimate, good beads killer, but he's just one of those gods that just shouldn't be played. He's just not the best to play, especially when you're playing ranked when, you know, people are generally going to be better. Hercules, I could see Hercules being A. I might move him up here. That all really depends, but the pluck's really nice. The heal is nice. The ultimate is okay. Hercules is okay. I mean, you can play him into team comps, like again with an Awelix or gods to set up with stuns, but I feel like you have to be super skilled with Hercules and hitting your plucks. They're not the easiest things in the world to hit, so you have to be good with those. Kukulkan used to be here, and then he kind of moved up and he's moved back down. Good lane clear. His slipstream getting changed helps him. It makes up for his lack of mobility. His ultimate's a game changer for sure. Pair him with an Athena, pair him with Fafnir, you know, good objective clear, but his lack of mobility is what really hurts him, and being able to be caught out really, really easy. Medusa, same thing with Hades. I think you're going to see Medusa work her way up to A+ tier come Season 4, because she's getting a lot of changes that benefit her. But as of right now, she's just B+. Decent ultimate for getting stuns, but it's really easy to counter. You just turn away real quick, especially if you're a PC player and you can just move your mouse. The anti-heal is really nice though, but healers are not coming in right now. Season 4, I think healing is going to be a little more meta, and that's where she's going to come into play. But since healers aren't really played, her anti-healing isn't the greatest aside from Raw. Super good early game, but she has high mana usage as well. Not the best lane clear either. It's just one of those guys you're not going to see played. Nox, super good when you pair her with like Thor or Athena or Erlang or even Freya. But you have to hit the combo. If you don't hit the full combo with Nox, you're wasting a god. Like, you got to hit the silence and the stun and burst them down. And it's too hard to hit in ranked. With ranked, you want some good, like, free guarantee damage. And hers, it's hit or miss with her, literally. Nuwa, ultimate's really nice, being able to see guys on the map. Good kill secure. You could build her attack speed as well. She just has no escape. She gets caught out too easy, and she can't ult and get away because it's like Rama. They're just waiting for her to land. Not the best lane clear either, but she also is really good at taking objectives with the minions, of course, the clay minions. Nuwa's okay. You just got to build team comps around her to help her stay alive. Odin, we already went over him. Scotty, amazing lane clear for ranked duels. She's like up here, but this is Conquest again. Called her really good split pusher, but the difference is when you're split pushing, you can't get away. It's not like Apollo where you can just fly out. You're gonna get killed more than likely. She has no escape. She does have a movement speed boost. The ice is super annoying. The ice does really change the swing of games, especially early game. If you can hit someone on the ice when they're pushing you under and they slide into your tower, and then your support can root them, you can get a good kill there and counter it up, but just no mobility. You're just not going to see her played a whole lot in ranked or any professional scene. Now we're coming down here. Opwash. These gods, really nothing to say. No mobility. Opwash does have a lot of anti-healing in his kit, which can go against Ra or Freya or stuff like that, but he's just so squishy. No mobility. His late game, being able to stay in lane with his, passive is really nice, but these guys, you need an entire team around them to make them work, and it's just too much. Anubis, same thing. You need a team, no mobility, hardest hitting god in the game in terms of percentage-wise with his ticks, but just no mobility. Can't really work unless you have an entire team around him to help him. Afro, same thing. Her passive change was really nice, but healers in general, you see, and I'll cover them. Chang'e, hell, they just no escapes. There's so much anti-healing in the game with Bacchus, Medusa, the Relic. There's easily countered, easily caught out. You see, Chang'e was picked in the soul lane one time in the SPL. Not the SPL, but recently. And she was ganked 3 times in a row and killed 3 times in like 5 minutes. It's just because she's so easy to catch out. Her late game, once it comes online, is super nice. For Joust, she's phenomenal. Even Duel, phenomenal. But this is Conquest. I will add that is what's good about Smite is gods that are down here in Conquest are up here. They can be up here for like duels and jousts. There's so many different game modes in Smite that every god can be playable in some form or fashion. Like these 3. AMC and Loki, 2 of the best gods in ranked duel. So that's what I love about Smite. Who are we on to next? Afro went over. Bakasura, he just no team fight. Really. Good early game, good camp stealing, but you're just going to have no team fight for him. He's similar to Arachne, but Arachne has so much more early game shred, I think, in my opinion. It's just, don't pick Bakasura. Too easily countered out. Chang'e, decent healing. Ultimate's good for setups. Chang'e and Kumba are really scary. If you can get Kumba to stun like 3 people and Chang'e ult them, they're going to be stunned for like 6 seconds. Like, it's just really good, but just, again, no mobility, gets caught out too easily, no true team fight potential. She's got to be really close in combat to hit her abilities too, which is a big thing with her. So, just not the best. Habwa, You've seen him kind of played more, but he's fallen down again. His burst is amazing, but again, no escape. Comes on later game. His early game's pretty weak. No true lane clear either. He's going to get out pushed by Ra or Janus. Gods like that. Just not a good guy to pick. Xbalanque, I think, is the worst hunter in the game. His early game is so atrocious. It's just not worth even playing into late game for him. Late game he comes on decently, but it's just so bad early. He has no clear. Literally no clear. His poison doesn't do enough to clear. His one just uses too much mana to do it. His ultimate is decent for getting out or setting up team fights, but it's just so bad early. You want to see how bad it is early? Go into a custom game, be Xbalanque, and make a medium bot Medusa. Guarantee you it's going to be a hard fight and you're going to die multiple times just because their early game is so good and your early game is so bad. Zhonghui, probably the least played god in Smite. Like, I think his late game is super good. I have fun playing Zhonghui. Build him tanky like Hades, and he's really fun to play, but zero mobility, caught out too easy. There's just, you can't really play Zhonghui in a team comp. He's just one of those guys that just don't get played in anything, really, which is unfortunate because I actually like him. Almazenkob, don't play him. Got some buffs, but it doesn't change the fact that he's super immobile. All you got to do is take down his hives. His ultimate is a true skill shot. He has good clear, which helps him a lot, and the slow is really nice. He has a whole kit that could really make him work, even his wards on his beehives. But him being able to be caught out and ganked so easily is just not worth it. Don't pick him. Hell, I think, is going to move up a little bit come Season 4 with her being able to clear lane easier. But she is super immobile. She has no ultimate because she is a stance switcher. Get countered completely by anti-heal. And to clear lane, she needs to be like inside the minions. And that's just, you're out of position too much. You can get ganked easily. It's just not a good guy to pick. And if you hear that, that is like hail outside right now. So I'm gonna hurry up and wrap this video up. Last one is Loki. Don't pick Loki. Don't be that guy. And I am that guy because I'm a diamond Loki, so I know what I'm talking about. He's bad. All he is a split pusher, and all he is a troll god to kill Anubises and Raws and Scyllas and any mage. That's basically what he is. But when you do that and you ult the backline, you're out of position, you're going to die, you're only good for split pushing, and when you're split pushing, you're out of team fights and your team is losing. The difference between her, Bastet, and Loki, Bastet can take towers in like half a second. You put your ult on there, boom, it's dead. And you can also get out. She has an escape. Loki does not. He has his invisible, but sentry wards, listen for him, have a Hoi mark, something like that. Just don't pick Loki. Don't do it. I'm telling you, I'm a diamond Loki. Don't do it. That's going to wrap up the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe for more content. If you agreed with it, drop it a like. If you disagree with it, I don't know what to tell you. You can comment me on your tier list where you think some changes. Again, this is all subjective. Tier lists aren't set in stone. I mean, it's a lot of opinion and stats combined. I mean, and like I said, a lot of these were flip-flops. Like I could see Wukong being A+, I could see Bellona being A, I could see Fafnir being S, I could see Ao Kuang being A, I could see Kali being S, depending on who's playing. I could even see, you know, Artemis being A+ if Panda Cat's on it. It's all subjective, but this is just a base overall, my opinion, to wrap out Season 3. And keep in mind, a lot of this is swayed by the World Championship, because obviously Thanatos wouldn't be this high, Sylvanas probably wouldn't be this high, Capri wouldn't be this high, Ra wouldn't be this high. So that's it, guys. Again, if you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Social media links are in the description, including Twitch. And I do want to see some comments on what you guys think about Season 4. What do you think? Who are going to be the top gods? I think they're relatively going to be the same. Like I said, I think Hell will move up a little bit. Not anything to make her super good, but I think maybe B+. I think Wukong is going to move up to A+ or even S tier. I think overall it's going to be the big changes. I don't think... Yeah, I think it's kind of going to be the same. I think Wukong's going to get played a lot more in the solo lane. Nike is getting nerfed again, but I still think she's going to be crazy. And Janus has never changed. Janus has always been this good, and he's never nerfed. Which I don't want him to be, because I love Janus. He's such a high skill god, which makes him so fun. And he's so good when you know how to play him. But yeah, thank you guys so much for support, and until next time, I'll see you again soon.